Good morning, everyone. We are back here again on the old S10. The bed is full of junk because it is a work truck, not a race truck. I've changed my mind. I'm gonna convert this to be a work truck. Just kidding. Anywho, got kind of a bigger project today. As you can see, she's already pulling the wheels. She's doing a big old wheelie here, and that is because it's time to swap out some control arms. I've been talking about it for a while. Finally bit the bullet and purchased them. They're on the way. They're not here yet, but I do not have a ton of time to work on it, so I'm just gonna have to get her done. So I started ripping them apart. All I've gotten done so far is remove the tires and then pull the calipers off the rotors. I did that late last night just to get that done. So I did purchase the new control arms and coilovers for the front, so that'll be nice, but I didn't get a new spindle or rotors or brakes yet. That'll be down the road probably. The spindle I'll probably keep, but the rotor and brakes I'll probably replace, but that's gonna be a later date. For now, I'm just gonna worry about control arms and coilovers. And while I have the spindles out, I'll probably clean them up. So I may have a video of that, restoring the spindles in there, which you can't see because it's too dark. But yeah, for now, that's the project, is get these big clunky control arms off. I've never done a control arm swap, so this will be a learning experience for the both of us. So first order of business, I don't know if you can see these nuts here, these little castle nuts, but I'm going to go ahead and pull all the pins on them so that they're ready to back off. There's one on the top up here and one on the bottom, and then there's one for the steering. These are all connected to the spindle. The spindle is what holds this hub, and then when you move the steering, that's what moves this guy, lets it turn, is this spindle connected to the spindle really is where everything connects, the control arms and the steering. So unless it go up and down and junk like that. So go ahead, get all that stuff disconnected. I'll have to take off the sway bar too, it looks like, or at least disconnect it from the control arm. Alright, so I got the pins out on the 3 castle nuts. One there, and this guy. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull the steering. I know that's not going to do anything crazy. So go ahead, pull the steering, and then probably get the sway bar, this side, loosened up at the same time. So I had some problems with both of the things I just tried to do. The steering nut, castle nut came off alright, but the bolt won't go back through the spindle. So I'm thinking that I'm probably just going to wait until the spindle's all the way off, and then that'll probably be easier to twist off and lift straight up on the spindle versus trying to hammer this back down. Also, the sway bar link is totally rusted together. You can kind of see in there, in that little column that connects the sway bar to the lower control arm, it's all rusted up in there and ruined. So I don't think that bolt is ever going to come out. So I think I'm just going to cut that one off, and from there, once that's cut off, the new control arms I believe come with new links for the sway bar, and if not, I'll probably upgrade to a better sway bar down the road anyway. So for now, just cutting it off will be fine. Then after that, I'm going to stick this jack under the lower control arm and undo the ball joint castle nuts, and then I'll be able to slowly lower the control arm with the jack so that it doesn't come shooting down. That spring doesn't shoot it down once it's loose from the ball joints. So the two control arm castle nuts are off, and the lower control arm's been lowered. It's off the ball joint here for the most part. Sorry, you can't see much in there. But all that's left now, I'm going to try and pull these. This nut is just spinning on the top of the coil, and so this one, hopefully I can pull these bottom two and drop out the coil over, or loosen it up and allow the lower control arm to drop out, and then that'll allow me to hopefully knock the spindle out of the upper control arm. So hopefully. Alright, so I ended up having to cut the top of that shock bolt off. That nut was just spinning, it wasn't going anywhere. So I got that cut off. I nicked up a few of the things around here, but they're all going, so that's okay. I also went ahead and got these bolts underneath off. I don't know if I'm looking at it or not. But so now that shock is loose, I think I'll be able to just pull it right out the bottom. Let's go ahead and give that a try. So, yep. There it came. Monroe. An old Monroe shock, huh? It's kind of interesting. So I think somebody had put some drop spindles on it before. I do believe it is lowered, but so I'll probably keep the drop spindles and then adjust ride height with the coilover. We want it to be low, but not like terribly low. So yeah, got the old shock out. Now there should be nothing holding this back from coming down, so hopefully I'll just smack it with a hammer a few more times and it'll come loose. So I didn't have the camera on, but I used some brute force and got the steering link out. That was just using the dead blow, tapping on the top of the ball joint. And then I went ahead and I realized that the lower was getting caught on the dust shield on the spindle. You could see right at the bottom here, it was getting caught on this dust shield lip right here. So I lifted it back up, peeled that dust cover out, and then set this back down. Now that's ready to come out. Just got to pull the bolts, and same with the upper. So upper and lower, just got to unbolt them, and yeah, I'll probably pull off the rotor and pull this dust shield off. I guess I could have pulled the rotor off while it was on the car, but I don't know. But yeah, I'll pull this dust shield off and maybe restore these old spindles, make them shiny and new. Yeah, other than that, we'll keep moving forward. So that pretty much does it for this side. This side of the frame is all completely bare. Here's a brake caliper just sitting up here. Of course, I'm gonna sand it all down, strip it and paint it, make it all brand new and shiny. Before I do that, I gotta run to the hardware store to get another wire wheel and junk like that, some more paint. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this other side all disassembled. Haven't even touched this side yet. So that whole process is gonna be repeated again. Great. I do, of course, have the caliper off already, but I learned a little bit from that first time, so I'll go ahead and get this all torn down, and then I'll start sanding. there we go. Both sets of control arms are out, and we're ready for sanding and painting, which I will probably do tomorrow because I'm running out of time and I'm feeling lazy, and that took a lot longer than I thought it would. Tomorrow, sand and paint, blast this stuff off, make it look all pretty shiny new again. The new control arms aren't going to be here for a few days, so I might break this into 2 separate videos. But for now, I'll just keep chugging along on Le Frame. All this stuff you can see, I just hadn't touched it before. It'll look like this, you know, shiny, new, scratched and painted. All of it'll look like that as soon as I get the opportunity. We're back out in the garage again. It's the next day. Got the old control arms out last night, and got the grinding wheel set up. We're gonna start peeling back this ugly layer of surface junk and get to painting. Alright, it's not completely finished up here, but looking a heck of a lot better. You got them shiny. Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful. That's lovely. There's a few more spots I got to try and hit a little better with the wire wheel. Some things that are kind of harder to get in there on top a little bit, but for the most part, almost ready to paint. Probably won't show the other side because it's going to be identical, and this is just a pain. Also, if anybody's cringing because I'm letting the caliper hang by the hose sometimes, I don't plan on using these hose or the calipers again in the finished product, so I don't really care about it. Alright, both sides cleaned up pretty good. Got the fancy gloves on. Time for some painting. Well, one of the last coats of paint is drying here. I'll probably throw on a few more after this is dried, but it's taken forever because it's not the best day to be painting, but I don't really have a choice. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It looks good. It'll definitely be functional. I was hoping that the new control arms would come in time, but it looks like it might be another week before they get here. So I'll probably just do this as a removal and do an install when they show up. Hate to cut the video short here, but if you guys want to see the install or you care about the build at all, feel free to subscribe. This is pretty much the majority of what I'm going to be doing on the channel from now on, or for now at least. I still do some dirt bike stuff now and then, but let's be honest, we all want to see the race truck get finished up, so, or at least I do, and this is my channel. So anywho, leave a like, subscribe if you liked it, subscribe if you wanted to subscribe, and I'll see you around.